Change, change, change. It's the only thing that's constant in social media. Can I get a high five? Social media changes happen faster than you can eat a box of chocolates. I don't know about you, but I could really chow down on some chocolates. Luckily for us, we have the fabulous Katie Spellman today of Revel and Grow to show us and help us understand more about creating Facebook ads that sell better than a Tom Hanks movie. Do you like how I referenced chocolates there? Hi, everyone. I'm Mary Fain Brandt, the host of this show, Bite-Sized Tips for Busy Entrepreneurs, where I bring on savvy business professionals who are experts in their industries to help you grow and scale your business with ease. Hey, in today's show, Katie's going to talk about what? 3 things. You guys know how this show goes. We keep it bite-sized tips, 30 minutes, 3 tips. She's going to talk about 3 types of Facebook ads. Did you know there were 3 types? There's awareness, lead gen, and retargeting. Interesting. What types of Facebook ads you should be using, where she's going to deep dive into all of that. And then prepping your business for ads. Is this the right time? So just because you have a great business doesn't mean that this is the time for Facebook ads. So she's going to explain to us when is the right time to do Facebook ads and how much you should be investing. And I can tell you a few years ago, I tried my first Facebook ads and it was awful. I got 0 ROI. I actually got like some nasty comments on one of my ads and I don't know why. One of those trolls on Facebook, but it didn't, I got nothing. So I haven't done any Facebook ads. So I'm here to learn just as much as you are. Hey, Katie is the owner of Revel and Grow. I love that name. And she helps coaches, online consultants, and course creators automate their lead generation. Does that sound like something you want to learn more about? She has easy to follow strategies. And Kate, this is what I love about Katie. She helps amplify your organic marketing efforts. And that's important to me because I like organic and nurturing, right? So this isn't hardcore Facebook ads. This is adding to what you're already doing organically and turning your past followers, right, into potential clients and reaching a new audience. So I can't wait to learn her ninja tips and tricks today. But here's something fun about Katie. You guys, when she's not knee or elbow deep in her ads and funnels and all the analytics part, you can find her with her cute, adorable son, Matthew, and her husband, Aaron, on a farm. The girl lives in Iowa on a farm. This is something that I recently found out about her. And she has a never-ending battle fighting dog hair. Katie, I fight cat hair. I don't know which is worse. I guess it depends on the breed and how many you have. Hey, you guys, before we get started, let's give a big shout out to the sponsor of the show. Bite-Sized Tips for Busy Entrepreneurs is sponsored by StreamYard. StreamYard makes it easy to go live by just hitting a button. Literally, you hit a button that says go live and you can stream to multiple platforms and have up to 10 guests on your show. So if this is something that you want to learn more about, I'm going to drop my affiliate link in the comments. Yes, it's an affiliate link. I want to make sure that you're aware of that. But they have a free version and they have the pro plan. It is amazing. And we all know that video is here to stay. So you should just sign up and start giving it a try. What else do I want to say? If you're watching the replay, #replay, let us know. Katie and I promise to come back and answer your questions. But you know what? Enough about all that. Let's get Katie on camera. There we go. Hello, my dear.
Hello, hello.
We've got Charles Hunter is here. We've got Tim. Tim Sohn is one of my remote live stream buddies. He says, shout out to Mary's mug to my face. Thanks, Tim. He's testing out Facebook ads to promote his show. He does a remote show, a live show as well. So that's fabulous, Tim. Let us know how that goes and what strategies you use. Well, first off, Katie, thank you so much for joining me today. And how's the weather back there in Iowa?
You guys, it is beautiful here. And so beautiful to us might mean beautiful, might be different for you. But about 3 weeks ago, it was -20 as the high.
What?
And
there's
today,
a -20?
Yeah, as the high for the day. That was like, Yeah, it was really cold. And today it's like 55 degrees and no breeze and beautiful. And my dog is out tied to the tree enjoying the sunshine. And I will join her shortly because it is a gorgeous day here. Although 55 might be chilly to some people.
Yeah, that's freezing.
I would start wearing shorts. Like you would go outside today and see people in shorts and flip-flops. We're ready for spring.
You have a sleeveless on. I have like a sweater on, and I'm in Arizona. Yeah. That's because I'm always cold here. I know everyone's like, oh, Arizona's hot. It is, but it's also cold. Like we have temperatures in the morning. It's like 40 degrees. And to me, that's freezing. Like I don't even know how
that just sounds perfect for a brisk walk, Mary. I mean, come on.
I can't go outside. Heck no. This Cali girl, like 65. You go under 65 when I'm freezing. You go over 85 and I'm hot. So, I don't know about this move. So you guys, I have to share with you. Oh, hi, Helen. Helen's on. Yay. Hi. So I got to share two things with you. First, I got to let you know that I met Katie through a coaching group that we're in this coaching program. And Helen was in the coaching program previously. So there are some amazing women in this copywriting coaching group. If anyone wants the 411 on that, we'll share that with you. And then right before the show, right before we went live, my blinds were moving and there was wind outside. And I said, hold on. And I opened like the blinds. And the trees are blowing and leaves are blowing. I'm like, oh my God, it's like a tornado here in Arizona. And Katie like laughed at me and said, Mary, if you were having a tornado, I'd let you know. You'd know. But it was crazy. I guess we have a lot of monsoons here. So it's really, monsoon season. It's not supposed to be till I believe June, because it's always in my birthday when we go to the lake and it's monsoon and we go to take the boat out and it's like waves. Literally waves. So this little tornado thing that just happened scared the bejeebies out of me. The bejeebies, because I'm from San Diego. Okay, you guys, I know that we have earthquakes, but I'm not scared of those for whatever reason.
We have a lot of wind here in Iowa, and even more out on a farm when there's no wind breaks. So the wind it's real. It's real. And I am a fair weather fan for wind. I will walk outside at 40 degrees, but if it's windy, that's hard for me.
Not your thing. Okay. Well, I love it. I love that all the guests that I bring on, they're experts in what they do and that I know them personally. So we've jumped on calls to get to know each other and how we can support each other. Katie is amazing. There are a ton of people that do Facebook ads out there. And, everyone does them a little differently. And I asked Katie to come on and just talk to the entrepreneurs, the solopreneurs, the small business owners about Facebook ads. Is this the right time, and how do we do them? Because I don't feel that they're right for everyone all the time. Is that correct?
That's correct. Like, I will probably be the weird Facebook ads person that is probably the most negative about running Facebook ads. I will say things often like, you're probably not ready for it, or that's not a great idea, only because I firmly believe that we have to have our organic strategy going first before we worry anything about ads. And, honestly, I think like hands up and like you can put this in the comments, but like a lot of people feel like ads are a quick fix, right? And that's okay if you do, but it kind of used to be that way. That's like the good old days, the wild, wild west of Facebook ads. And now it really is more like a long-term strategy and commitment. And so I just like to make sure people are like ready for it before they jump in. And so we'll talk through all that today, Mary, and I'm happy to answer any questions that anybody has kind of around like, what does that mean? Or how do you know when you're ready? And we'll kind of get into all of that. But I'm more cautious than most, even though I love what I do and I know it can really impact your business. I really like to make sure people are ready to go all in.
I love that. I love that you're like, hey, it's not like, come work with me because I can work magic for you. It's like, let's see where you're at in your business. What's your budget? What are you looking? What is the ROI that you're looking to do? So I think, I'm going to go back to the 3 tips that, we're going to talk about. Let's start with 3 types of Facebook ads. So there's awareness, lead gen. That's pretty self-explanatory. And then retargeting.
Yeah.
And I want to know, do you do all 3 ads? Do you do them in that order? Do you want to talk about that and like, maybe at what point, and these are all going to go together because, are you ready? Well, awareness is probably when you're starting off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to let you just take that. Tell us about the 3 different kinds of ads and when you use them.
So I'll do a really quick overview, and then I'm going to kind of dive into each one a little bit more. So awareness is really just brand awareness. That's really what it sounds like. You actually have like no ask associated to it. You're not asking people to sign up for your email list. You're not asking them to buy your product. You're literally just getting out there and giving great value and content. Lead gen, pretty much what it sounds like. You're trying to generate leads for yourself. So if you're a service-based business, you might have some sort of like freebie where people can get on your email list. If you are a coach or a course creator, you might have a webinar as your intro product or your intro lead gen. So that's really what that sounds like. And then retargeting is taking people that have been shown like the most interest in the most aligned places and getting them to your final destination. And so when I think, and Mary, you kind of said like, do you do all 3? Yes and no. Okay. So there's places for each, and it really kind of depends on what your individual funnel looks like. At some point, you likely will have all 3 of these things going. It looks different depending on the type of product or offer you might have. But I always have to really encourage people to begin with the end in mind. What I start with is like, what is your end sales goal? Like, where are you trying to get people? And then we have to make sure that everything we do really moves people to that place. And so when we talk about retargeting ads, it's saying we're not just retargeting anybody that's ever done anything with your brand, anybody that's ever gone on your website. It's really about, okay, what would signal to you that it's like somebody's really primed to buy? Well, likely if they hit your sales page but didn't buy, and also likely if they signed up for your lead magnet. And so it's really identifying each part of the way how you move people to the next phase. So in terms of awareness, I'm going to kind of start at the beginning of the funnel again. This is probably my favorite type of ad to run because honestly, from an ads manager, from an ads manager's perspective, it's actually kind of easy because this is where we talk about all of your organic stuff that's working really well. Awareness comes down to, you don't need to go build out fancy awareness ads campaigns. You need to be able to know, okay, I had an Instagram post that, got a lot of comments or engagement or saves, maybe a video that you've done on your Facebook page that got a lot of views, that kind of thing. You can just turn that, and a lot of people consider this boosting a post, okay? I'll allow you to think about it in your head that way, if it makes sense. I'll allow you to think about it that way, but I would encourage you not to boost and to do the proper ads manager way. But it's taking what you're already doing so well in your business and amplifying it. Other ways that you can do this is if you blog and you want to get your blog posts reached out to more people, then you can direct traffic back to your blog post and or podcast episodes. So that's really, kind of the top ways would be like Instagram, Facebook post, videos, blog posts, and podcast episodes. Those are your 4 most common types of awareness ads.
So like Tim was saying, so Tim does a live show, the Tim and Jim show. Tim, is that the show that you're using the Facebook ads? So that would be an awareness ad, right?
Yeah.
Because you want to bring awareness to that particular item.
Yes, exactly. And what you do and what the point of doing that is because you have an ads manager do all the fancy stuff on the back end about creating audiences and things like that. But then you're capturing everybody that's watching certain percentages of your video or visiting certain pages or engaging with your Instagram profile. So for example, if you have a live show and you're wanting to promote that, you can say like, well, I want to capture who's ever watching about 25% of my video. Because if somebody's watched 25%, they're probably pretty invested and it probably qualifies them as a pretty strong audience, right? So you can do different things like that. That's why we do awareness ads. It's to build up the greater base of people that we can reach out to in the future. So like I said, awareness ads are things that you don't actually have to overthink too much. And the other nice thing is they're not crazy expensive. These types of ads tend to run. I mean, you can go crazy with them, but you can do them for $3 to $5 a day. It's not the thing that's like the budget breaker. I'll talk to you about the budget breaker and I'll give it to you straight, but it's not awareness ads. And that's really nice. And one thing that I've noticed with my clients over the years is, again, kind of going back to that wild, wild west of ads world. You know, we used to throw up an ad and then people bought and it was like raining money. And that's kind of the myth that's been really kind of put out into the industry now. But honestly, what we're seeing is people are just requiring a lot more nurturing. They are requiring a lot more knowledge and trust in a brand. They are requiring more time to buy sometimes. And a lot of this depends on your price point of your product too. You know, if you have a more manageable price point, you know, $37, something like that, where people don't have to spend a lot of time wondering if
they don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
Anything under $50, you're like, $47, I'll buy it.
It's like, I go to Target and spend 3 times that. Sure, you know. So there's those kinds of things. But like when you're talking about more of an investment product, a service or class or coaching experience, you know, those tend to be higher ticket, and people just, there's a lot more noise in the industry. So it just takes some time to set yourself up and really show the people in your audience that I'm here, I'm not going away, I'm a valid person, I provide really great value, and this is what you can expect of me. That's kind of where these nurturing awareness ads come in.
I love it. And I also want to just point out, or some of you might know this, but we have the smartest buyers in the world. Why? Because of the internet. You Google everything, you know, Alexa, Google, LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever it is. You can research a product, a service, and a person in a snap of your fingers. And so by having all this information at our fingertips as consumers, when we're on the other side selling, we have to remember that, you know, just one ad isn't going to do it. We have to reinforce that. We have to get our names there. And I really feel because we have the smartest buyers in the world right now in 2021, that we actually have to, you know, not be more aggressive, I guess, like be smarter with our ads and understand it can take time. Right. So I had someone on LinkedIn, a current client of mine. I always ask, like, so how'd you find me? Right. She's like, oh, I've been following you for 6 months. I was like, oh, cool. Glad that LinkedIn is working the way it's supposed to. Right. And so kind of the same thing, right? We have to be consistent in our ads. We have to have a strategy. And I know I made the mistake the very first time. I just threw like $20 and, you know, back in the day.
Oh, we've all done it, Mary. It's okay.
Okay.
There's no shame in that game.
Like $20 here. Let's do this ad. Here's a pretty graphic. Like, that wasn't a strategy. That was like playing at the casino. Right? That was putting $20 down on the blackjack table. And I lost. The house won. The house in this case is Facebook.
Mark Zuckerberg thanks you for your $25.
Right?
He pocketed it and spent it already. So
so you really do need to have a strategy. So I like the tip that you said is start with the end in mind. Are you trying to bring awareness to a show, a blog, a podcast? So that's one. That's the brand awareness. And then lead generation.
And that is what it is. I mean, this is where the bulk of your budget is going to go. So whether it's a PDF or a masterclass or a webinar, or sometimes people go straight to an application page, you know, depending on your business. This is where you're really trying to get people to raise their hand and say, like, I want to know more from you. And it's pretty well understood that when you put your email address in, there's a good chance I'm going to be emailing you. And so because there's a greater associated risk by doing this, like a risk to the person, they're giving over their email address, whereas there's very little risk in commenting on an Instagram post or clicking to a blog post or watching a video. Really, all they've invested is their time in clicking and reading or watching. There's more risk and investment for the person to do lead generation. So when they're putting in their email address and they're getting your freebie or your webinar, you have to be willing to pay more to acquire that person as a lead. It also means that they're a stronger qualified person than somebody that's just watching a video. You know, somebody that's just watching a video might be very happy to sit on the sidelines and be your cheerleader and give you all sorts of great comments, but they are not willing to invest. And that's okay. Those people are amazing. We love cheerleaders for our business.
Those are our friends and colleagues that are watching.
That's my mom. My mom on every video I ever do.
That's my dad and my friends in San Diego and Tim here who's watching, and Helen, right? Those are like your fan favorites.
Yep.
But they're not going to buy from you because they're not looking to buy from you.
So when somebody raises their hand and they say, I'm willing to give you my information, knowing full well that you're probably going to be following up with me in some way, shape, or form to get what you're offering, they're more qualified than somebody that's just kind of hovering in your social media world. And so that means we're just going to need to be prepared to pay more for them. So when people talk about running an ad to their PDF or to their webinar for like $5 a day, it's not that it's inherently wrong. It's that you're going to have a harder time really doing that because the asks that you're asking, it's not in alignment, of what you're willing to put out there as your investment to receive that. So if you're going to be doing some sort of lead generation type ad, I'm going to encourage you that you start at least $25 a day. So that's the jump between awareness ads and lead gen is when you're at $3 to $5 a day here. $25 a day here. And you definitely need to let your ad campaign run a good solid 5 days. So if you run it for a day and you only get like 2 people signing up, don't kill it and say like, oh my gosh, it's wrong, it's bad. The algorithm takes a solid 3 days to really kick in for your ads. So you kind of have to just trust the process. But that's where a bulk of the budget really goes. So when I'm working with my clients and doing like full campaigns for them, gosh, I mean, depending on the product and their exact funnel, there's no like perfect way of doing it, but we're usually putting somewhere between 65 and 75% of the ad budget just towards lead gen. And then the remaining is kind of split up between nurturing and retargeting.
Okay.
And this is also your kind of like your biggest audience. This is when you're really reaching out and saying like, come on in. When you're retargeting a smaller audience. Because remember, we're just looking at those really qualified people. Our budget doesn't need to be quite so extensive there. So the lead gen is where you kind of just have to put all the, I'm not a gambling person, Mary. I was going to try to follow your thing. I was going to say, I got to put all your poker chips and go all in. I don't know. That might be a weird analogy, but this is where you have to say like, this is my mindset of investment. And this is where people get squirmy because this is where the dollars can start to feel real, and we all have our own threshold of where those numbers start to get squirmy for us. For some people, $25 a day is going to feel really squirmy. And for other people, they're like, no, I'm willing to test that. I'm willing to go and see if this works. And that's okay. There's no right or wrong. I just don't like it when ads managers are out there going like, well, you can grow your list by 100 people a day for $5 a day. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but no, you cannot. That is like
and are they the right people?
Situation.
Like, who cares about growing your list with a bunch of people that are never going to open an email?
Yes, that's the other thing.
You're paying for that one way or the other, folks. Let me tell you, I just had to scrub my list last year, and we dropped 3,000, almost 3,000 people from my list because we sent out a series because I'm paying. Katie, you pay per person on, you have a number, and the bigger your list grows, the more they charge you every month.
Yeah. And, that's the thing. It's like, that's when I talk with my clients a lot. It's that beginning with the end in mind and saying, this is where we also come back to the organic. It's I personally, and there's other people that do, I personally don't bring on clients that don't have a verified funnel. Because what happens is you don't know where it's broken. You don't know if it's the ad that's not great, the audience that's not great, the offer that's not great, something's wrong in the funnel. It's really hard to kind of figure out a broken funnel when it's not validated. And when I say validated, what I mean is you should really have some sort of substance to knowing that your funnel works organically before you layer ads in on top.
So validate, I'm putting that in the comments. Validate your funnel first.
Yes. And so that's just, no matter what your offer is, you know, like get some people going through it. And this is the part that people hate because it's like, but ads are supposed to help me with that. And I'm like, I get it. You're going to pay out the nose for it if you do it that way, to be honest with you. And if you're willing to just like be like, here's a blank check, go make this happen. That's what you can do that. You can test it and you can.
Or just go to Vegas and throw your money on the table because, you know.
Exactly.
It's the gamble, right?
It's the gamble. And so what I really love doing is like putting it out there to your email list. Let them know, like, these are supposed to be your warmest people. If you're not nurturing your email list, don't even think about ads, because email will always sell more than ads will. Always.
Everybody I love that you said that, because you know not all ads people will be like, yeah, email is where it's at, because a lot of people think email marketing is dead, and that's a whole other show.
No, that's a whole other show, but it is a
whole other show. But I love that you said that. So that kind of, I want to say, correct me if I'm wrong, but that leads us into tip number 3, right? That is really, or maybe I skipped around.
No,
but prepping your business for ads.
Yeah,
you have to make sure your funnel is working. Mm-hmm. So before you start ads, and you need to have your email list, right? Like,
yeah, you do. And this is the part where this word hustle gets thrown around a lot, you know, and listen, I am here for a work-life balance. Like, that's awesome. I love it. Ads can help you get there. But there are going to be periods of time where you have to go out and do the work. And that feels squishy to people. Mostly because it's scary and it becomes like a confidence thing. But honestly, what that means is like, you got to validate that funnel. You got to have an email list that you are willing and actively selling to. You got to know what your open rates are. You got to have, you know, get that stuff right, because all that kind of stuff, all the organic stuff is indicative of offer and messaging. And an amazing Facebook ad will never sell a misaligned offer or messaging.
I love that.
It just
won't. So you got to get your house in order before you jump into Facebook ads. That's what I'm hearing.
Yes,
like, you're here to help people and you want to see them succeed on Facebook ads, but you're not going to take on just anyone because they're throwing money at you if they don't have an email list, if they don't know what their open rates are, if they don't have a proven funnel. Yeah. So I love that you're saying you need to, so preparing your business for ads, these are the things that you actually need to work on first, because otherwise what I hear you say is that otherwise you're just throwing money away. So if you don't have those things, if you go to work with someone in Facebook ads and they don't ask you about those, we want to educate as a business owner. Like, it's all about what you don't know. And I want y'all to know what you need to know. So whether you hire Katie or someone else, or you know now, oh shoot, you know what? I'm not ready for ads. We want to prepare you so that you can get ready for a Facebook ad campaign and it can be successful. Unlike what I did, 3 years ago, throw some money, crickets. Wait, more crickets. Yeah. Right. And I do have an email list and I do have a funnel. I don't like my email open rates, but that's going to change really soon.
And hey, you're in a copywriting coaching group all about getting your messaging dialed in. So that is
I'm getting it dialed in. Oh yeah. So if you're not signed up for my email list, you're gonna want to sign up. No, because the copy is coming out and it's just changing significantly, and I can't wait for all that. But what I'm saying is, like, you really need to get your house in order before you go and throw money at a Facebook ad strategist and consultant, no matter who it is.
No matter who it is.
Yeah. I love that there's a few
and there's plenty of us out there. There's like Facebook ads people are those new like people in the mall at kiosk with like lotion samples, and they're like trying to find you as you walk by, and you're like, no. Like,
oh my God, that's hilarious. Like, I love that.
There's a lot of us. That's awesome. I'm
and there's enough business for all of you too. Everyone has their niche. That's a question. A lot of people have a niche. Right? Mm-hmm. Or niche, however you want to say it, folks. I like to say a niche. What's your niche?
I say niche just because you can say, well, the riches are in the niches.
I know.
And then it rhymes.
That also rhymes with niches. True. Niche just sounds,
It sounds
I actually use both. So is there Target, right? I'm going to Target. You mean Target. Is there a niche or a certain type of client that you love to work with that you have found really good results? Can you share like some of the results to make this more relatable and real to our audience?
Yeah, well, definitely there's a lot of different niches out there. And so I would say that's actually very, very important no matter which area you're in. As you look at Facebook ad strategists, ask them what they're specialized in, because I can tell you the strategies that I put in place for my clients that are like course creators and masterminds and service providers, that is different than e-com. And that is different than if you are like a brick and mortar chiropractic office. And that is different as if you are like a business to business, like SaaS type of offer, so it's really trying to make sure you find somebody that's aligned with what you're doing, because there are people out there aligned. And then there's a lot of ads managers that claim they can do everything. And it's not that they don't know, but I just think when you have somebody kind of dialed into that, they're able to just know what's happening in the industry and in that area really fast and know the trends much faster and kind of get you results at a quicker rate. So that being said, the people that I really love to work with, and I'll use my client Brian as an example. Brian and I just started more recently working together. Actually, his launch is happening this month, so I don't have his exact results, but his is perfect an example because he has been in his industry like 3 or 4 years now. Okay. He has really built up his offering. He has found which offer is the most productive for him or most profit producing for him. And he knows his audience like when I say inside and out, I mean inside and out. And he helps actors find agents. And so that's a really specific thing. He has a course all about it. And last year he was able to sell about $500,000 worth of that course organically. That is what I mean by a verified funnel. Like he has everything so dialed in that at this point, coming in with ads is just, it's not going to be guessing like, well, is the landing page not converting? Is the sales page not converting? Who are you offering this to? We know all that. And that's really the perfect place to put ads in and say, okay, now we have this all really working well. Open rates, retargeting, everything's good. We're going to start putting a lot more traffic through it. And quite frankly, he also just gets amazing results for his clients. And so the testimonials go on for days. So that is the exact type of thing I mean when I say like, get your house in order, make sure it's all verified, and you don't have to get it to that level that it's not so much the number. It's the fact that everything's working and all signs point to yes.
Well, and he knows his clients inside and out. So if you're just starting off, save your money. So my thing is one day I'm going to write a book called How to Save $10,000 Your First Year in Business, because I just threw money at coaching programs and coaching programs are great, but I don't think that first year in business, I think you've got to figure some things out yourself. So, contact me if you're on the verge of buying a $5,000 package and you just started your business. Let's talk through it. But so like the Facebook ads, like you're just starting off, that's not the best time. You need to develop who your ideal client is, what your niche or niche is, your landing page, your website, your offer, have some traction before you jump into the ad campaign, right? Yeah.
And I will say this is like if you're looking to scale or you're looking to hustle less, and you think ads are the answer, but you're like, oh, but I'm not checking off all these boxes. You can still manage that by maybe hiring a VA or something like that, where it's less about hustling all the time and you have to be the one posting and you have to be the one doing all this, but it's more about like finding a supportive team that can help you do that. If you're not really quite ready for the ads piece, it doesn't mean you just have to like work yourself to death. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say like shift your budget from ads to resources, basically, and kind of go that way.
And I have to say to ride on those coattails is that hiring a VA changed everything for me. And here's the thing, I can't afford it, right? That was me. Like when I can't afford it, but I'm so busy, I'm having a hard time keeping on top of everything. But hiring a VA was the best thing I did. And she does help manage my social media. She helps with the email. When I'm on summits, she helps promote when I'm on other summits all the time. She's fabulous. So definitely hire a VA. There's lots of places to find them. Here's my pro tip on that, you guys. And that's another whole show. Let me know. I want to know if anyone's interested on hiring VAs and how to do it. Let me know, because I've got a couple great people that have their own agencies. Mine's not through them by any means, but there's some really great agencies out there. And I've got a phone call coming up with one of them where I think I'm really going to like this, the way he works. Like, you have a dedicated VA, and then you need a graphic artist. They find it. You need someone to do, social media, they find it. You need someone to do email. So you have a specialist. So that's the first thing, is you need a specialist. When you hire a VA, don't hire them to do everything, because they will fail, because they don't know how to do everything. So that's tip number one. Tip number two is to give them a test. Give them something that will take 60 minutes or less. Have them do that. They should do it for free for you to prove that they actually have the skill set that you need. Okay. Enough about VAs, because I could go on forever. That is definitely going to have to be a show.
I was like, it's definitely its own show, and I would be there for it, because that's like all of it.
Yeah, we'll get this expert on after I jump on a call and test out their program, of course. So we talked about the 3 types of business ads. So that's awareness, building brand awareness. Like, you've got a show, you've got a blog, maybe you have a master class. I'm just saying, a webinar. Those are probably things, right? You're just building awareness. The lead gen and the retargeting. So lead gen is you're grabbing the email addresses. So that's like with the opt-in, right?
Yep.
Did we touch on the retargeting? Because isn't retargeting like really specific? That's the smaller.
Yeah. Retargeting really kind of comes at what we call the bottom of the funnel. And that's really just giving people a little nudge to come back and consider your offer. So it's usually only an ad that gets shown to like your hottest of hot audiences. So maybe people that have been to your sales page, but didn't end up buying, or maybe they've been on like your booking calendar, but they didn't end up booking a call with you. So it's about pixel placement and that kind of stuff, but really identifying like, where's that person that was so close and they just might need a little nudge reminder.
That's like the elbow thing. Great. Thanks for explaining that. We also talked about what type of Facebook ads that you should be using and prepping your business. Are you ready? Because Facebook ads isn't the end all be all. It's not the answer. Just like LinkedIn's not the answer for everyone. Facebook isn't, Instagram isn't. So first, where are your clients? If I work with clients that aren't on Facebook, because I tell them, you can join my Facebook group. And they're like, the only social media I do is LinkedIn. Yeah. And I'm sure there's people on Instagram and Facebook that if I were to say, hey, join my group on LinkedIn, they'd be like, no, I'm not over there. So know who the frig your clients are, know what platforms they're on, and know what they're looking for. This has been so great. We're going to wrap it up because we try to keep this bite-sized. We don't want to overwhelm people. So Katie, where do you want people to connect with you?
Yeah, so you can follow me over on Instagram at I'm just katie.spellman over there. And if you want to learn more things, ads and all that kind of stuff, you can visit me on my website, which is revelandgrow.com. And also, I think Mary dropped into the comments for you guys. Right, Mary? Am I seeing that there? Yep, okay. That is my opt-in. If you are looking to run your ads yourself and you're saying like, I'm ready, but maybe I'm not ready to invest. Ad copy is really hard to write. And so I've put together a swipe file for you guys that if you're wanting to go at it on your own for a little bit and get started that way, totally fine. Use these swipe files as some inspiration and to also learn the rules of what you can and cannot say on Facebook ads. So
that is amazing. You guys should all grab Katie's freebie. I'm going to grab it just to see what that copy is. Not that I'm going to do my Facebook ads myself. That ain't happening. Okay, so Katie, stay right there. I'll bring you right back. Everyone, thank you for joining us today. Hey, I want to know, are you ready to get known and be found? Are you ready to fill your pipeline with sizzling leads? Now, LinkedIn, you're in it for the long game. It's not a short game, but I can teach you how to turn your profile into a lead magnet, okay? And create a buzz around your profile and the services that you offer. Now, we have 2 different options, but here's what I want to tell you guys. We launched a half-day VIP intensive, and it is killing it. If you don't want to spend 3 months with me, I don't know why you wouldn't, because that's how I normally work with clients, but we can get it done in a half-day intensive. You're actually going to get graphics like a branded background banner and a template for you to use on posting on LinkedIn so that you're consistent with your branding. All of that is included, along with your top 10 list of strategic people that you should be connecting with, my 3C method of how to connect, cultivate, and convert those people into opportunities, and so much more. So I've got 3 spots open if you want to jump on that and just get it done in a day. I'm going to drop the link over. And if you have questions and you're not quite sure, I'm going to drop my consultation link, because just like Katie said, you know, people have to warm up to us, and I want you guys to have a conversation with me if that's what you need to do before you just buy, because that's what I would need. But maybe you've been following me for 6 months like some other people, and you're like, now's the time. We're going into Q2, you guys, in less than a month. Are you ready to kill it? Are you ready to rock it, get more speaking gigs? I'm going to drop that link over there. I'm gonna bring Katie back on. Katie, this was so much fun. I loved learning more about ads. You really broke it down to help simplify it. You know, I think
it's a big, complex spider web. So if I can simplify it for anyone, that makes me happy.
Yeah, that was great. Link for, sorry, I'm putting this in because you know what? Once you end the live, then I have to go to all the platforms and drop the links in. And you know what I learned, you guys? That's so much harder. So much harder. So Katie, real quick while I do this, tell me about your biggest success story besides the gentleman that you told us about. Tell me about your biggest success story with someone in the online space, course creator, service provider.
Yeah. I'm trying to decide which one I want to share. Recently, I have a client that she has been testing a couple different options of how she wants to format her webinar. And we've been doing this since December. We did another launch in February, and now we're doing another one in March. And each one has proven to be profitable, which is awesome. And so I think her first one, she had a 3-time return on her investment. So that's always really exciting. This last one, it's still wrapping up. So the numbers aren't final. In fact, her cart doesn't even close until tomorrow. But it's going to be about 3 to 4 times return on her investment as well. And then our next one, our goal is actually to exceed that and go to like 4 or 5 times her investment.
Oh my gosh, well, you're gonna have to report back and tell us all about it.
Yeah, and I think it's fun to just always think that like your numbers and somebody else's numbers can sound different, but it's knowing like what you put in and what you get out, you know? Because we always hear about those launches that are like, you know, $4.2 million. And you're like, I want that to be me. And I'm like, yeah, but making $30,000 in a month, most of us would feel pretty good about that if it cost us only like $3,000 to do it, you know? So it's kind of like put all things in perspective. And then once you have stuff that's really working, scale. And that's what I do.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Katie. It's been such a joy to have you.
Thank you.
I'm going to sign off now. And you guys, please connect with Katie on Instagram and Facebook. You guys know where to find me. Over on LinkedIn is the space for me to connect with you. And go ahead and hit that replay or that share button and send this out to anyone who is interested in Facebook ads.